Empire. Welcome to the Football Jones podcast. I am Mike Jones. Hope you guys had a Merry Christmas and are having a continued happy holiday season. You can read me at usatoday.com. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @ByMikeJones. Coming to you with another episode. If it's your first time, welcome. If you're a repeat listener, thank you for coming back. Today, as the NFL season comes down to its final regular season weekend, my buddy Lorenzo Reyes of USA Today Sports and I are taking a look at the state of some of the teams, questions that are lingering, teams that have to do some work, and teams that are trying to gear up for the playoffs. And always good to wrap with Lorenzo. Hope you guys enjoy this. We're going to get to it right now. All right, and happy to have my guy Lorenzo Reyes from USA Today Sports back on the podcast. Zoe, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, Mike. This is time. It's playoff time almost. This is it.
It is. It's crazy that we're here already. And I mean, it was kind of a wacky week 16, and then we're headed to week 17 here, where the playoffs are all set. But we're just not all set, but close to being set.
Right.
But there were some teams that really just wilted under pressure. I felt like this past Sunday.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we can talk about what happened in Philly, but let's hit first on Seattle, because this is a team that I thought in the Pete Carroll, John Schneider era had been so strong late in seasons in December and January. If you go back to 2012, they had the best record of all teams in the league in that stretch. And the NFC West and the NFC has been kind of weird, where for the past 3 weeks, we've had teams who've been in the 1 seed flip and all the way go back to the 5th seed. And It's basically been the Niners and the Seahawks alternating between wins and losses. But the Seahawks, they were set where they needed to beat a Cardinals team that I think entered with like 4 victories.
Right.
And you're holding on to the number 1 seed. Granted, they need to beat San Francisco in the finale to lock up that 1 seed. But now they need so much help that it's basically there's almost no way Seattle has that 1 seed. And I'm thinking, like, this is a team that they have nice pieces. They surpass expectations, but they've just been so inconsistent. It's one of those teams that they make life harder on themselves than it needs to be. And that just does not fly in January. So Seattle was a team that I was actually kind of high on, but now as I look at it, I'm just like, are these guys going to get waxed in the first round and then that's it?
Yeah. Well, now with all the injuries, Dwayne Brown,
that's the other thing.
I think they will. I had worried about them because Russell Wilson is great. Their defense has got a lot of, talented, playmakers and veteran guys, a good mix of people kind of coming into their roles. But the thing that really concerned me about them was that if Russell Wilson wasn't on his game, who was going to bail him out?
Yeah.
And now, not having their left tackle, not having their running back, they've also lost them. Before that, they lost Rashad Penny.
Right.
I feel like this is going to be a one-and-done team. And, they're going to be on the road, probably playing Philly. It's really unfortunate because they looked strong there for a while. And it looked like – and I think the league thought it was a given because they flexed that game against them in San Francisco.
Yeah.
The Monday night game before they even played the Cardinals, just assuming, they're at home, they're going to win this game. It's going to be the big showdown. And now –
and that would have been for home field advantage throughout the playoffs, that game.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Kenyon Drake, he's been a nice player. He's come on a little bit, but I feel like Kenyon Drake is not the dude that should knock you off of, when you're in the number 1 seed. Like the Seahawks have been sound defensively for a long time, and that's concerning. That Kyler Murray had a nice game. Like he made plays when he needed to. He was efficient.
Right.
But it's not like he won them that game. I think, he obviously contributed by not making mistakes. And again, making plays when it mattered, like extending plays, and especially on third downs, like the Fitz touchdown. That was a great piece of improvising when things break down. That's what Kyler Murray does. But as I sit here, I'm looking at the Seahawks team, and I think you hit the nail on the head. If Russ is playing at like MVP like Russ, then sure, the Seahawks have a chance to win. But as you know, defenses get better the longer you get in the playoffs, and you're just not going to get those performances out of your star quarterback week in and week out like you would hope. So, it's weird because like after the Jadeveon move, I'm thinking like, man, this team looks nice.
Yeah.
Like they had some pieces, and I don't know, even if they go to Philly, like, and I've been down on the NFC East hard all year, but yeah, it's hard. I guess the one good thing, I think, almost a silver lining here, I say the Seahawks have blown it, but they went 7-1 on the road this year. So, maybe they're just one of those teams that's built for things that are challenging. But, it's interesting actually, because it's like one of those things that you think, oh, I think I have a grasp on the NFC West, and then no, you don't, because like the teams you think are going to win just don't.
Yeah.
But for Cliff Kingsbury, I think it's a nice win for a young team. That's
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because they're building for next year and the years beyond that, and I think you at least see glimpses of like, oh, maybe this can work in the NFL.
Yeah, and he has proven himself to be able to learn on the fly and adjust and adapt his approaches better than I thought he would. I thought he was going to look in over his head. I expected like a Lane Kiffin type of thing.
You thought he looked like Freddie Kitchens?
Yeah, or Freddie Kitchens. Yeah, exactly. But he's out there, and they are definitely improving as they go. We've got some teams in very desperate situations this weekend. Dallas. Obviously, Philly's got to win. The Titans, facing the Texans again. The Steelers, they've got to win, but they don't control everything. Who are you the most confident in this weekend, and who are you the most worried about?
I would probably go with most confident in Tennessee, because the Texans more or less they clinched the AFC South. Right. They're playing the Texans in Houston, which, it's a familiar opponent, all that. But with the Titans having more on the line, and they've been much better down the stretch, even against the Saints yesterday. I think they kept it together, and this is without Derrick Henry.
Right.
If Derrick Henry can get healthy and if he can play, I feel like the Titans have a chance at that 6th seed in the AFC, that last wild card. The team I'm least confident is just Dallas. Yeah. And granted, again, the NFC, I don't know if I can swear here, but like it's been a bleep show, like it's just been teams underwhelming, and it's just, these are talented teams too, and it's just like you're scratching your head thinking, how is this happening? Like, what am I watching here? But I almost expect the Eagles to lose in a weird way. I almost expect them to lose just because that's been what's happened in the NFC East.
Right.
Granted, that's what my heart's telling me, my brain's telling me, of course they're not going to lose. But this is just, I feel like Dallas at this point, after yesterday, they're that locker room has to be in shambles.
Yeah. And you have your owner giving like weekly updates on the security of the coach and everything. I feel like they were just never as good as anyone in the organization said they were or thought they were. And so this is who Dallas I thought they were going to be. I never bought that Super Bowl talk. I thought the Eagles would have flipped the switch earlier than this, but I think that winning on Sunday was huge for Carson Wentz. I mean, because it seems like from that Washington game to last night, you saw him like raise his game to a different level. Their defense, Fletcher Cox finally started. Fletcher Cox.
That was huge.
I don't know. I think that it's going to play out favorably for them, because if they win this division, then they'll get a beaten up Seattle like we're talking about, likely at home. I don't know beyond that, but this is a team that's been there before. Obviously, Wentz has not, but they might be getting some momentum right here. The team I'm really worried about, in addition to Dallas. I just, like you said, I think Dallas just their minds are just scrambled eggs right now. But I think that Pittsburgh, they did
Yeah.
so well hanging on for so long, and now like they don't have a quarterback. Like, you know, Devlin Hodges was there because he wasn't killing him. Now he's an interception machine. Mason Rudolph, you know, he's got his
He got
turnover,
hurt too.
and he got hurt. Right.
Yep.
I feel like, look, valiant effort, but
Yeah, I mean, listen, I still think Mike Tomlin did a great job. Like,
for sure.
yeah, I mean, to take that team with all those injuries, and this is, I mean, they just got Juju Smith-Schuster back.
Yeah.
Like, not to mention everything else that's happened with their quarterbacks. But to 8 wins, like, damn good job, Mike. But this ain't a playoff team. Like, you know, I granted, they can still sneak in, but if they do, this is one of those teams that I don't think anyone is looking at them and being like, oh, we got them. Like, we have to worry about these guys.
Right.
No, this is a if they make that 6th wild card, whoever gets whoever they're playing, I think is going, okay, nice. We have a very winnable game. And
really good defense, but their offense just does not.
Yeah, and like, even I look at the rushing game, like James Conner had a really nice year last year, with all, like, you know, spelling Le'Veon when Le'Veon was sitting out, but it just has not translated. The offensive line is like making uncharacteristic mistakes, like holding penalties that from, like, you know, Alejandro Villanueva, who you would say like one of the best in the game, and it's just small things like that. And I think it filters all down from the quarterback position, because I think a lot of times Ben, you know, whether you like him or hate him, he would elevate the players around him, and he had a sort of resilience of, like, you know, we're down, we need to make a play on 3rd and long, whatever. You could at least look to Ben to sort of at least put players in position to make those plays. I mean, look at what Juju did last year,
Right,
with no AB, no Le'Veon, and Juju had a career year. And, you know, granted, he's been hurt, but I think you look at a young player like Juju Smith-Schuster, and you look at, well, okay, his production dropped considerably, and I think it's because of who's throwing him the ball. So, yeah, I agree with you. The thing with Dallas is just like Zach Ertz was banged up. They hit him pretty good with the ribs and all that. But then, like, you know that Philadelphia's bread and butter, with their receivers being hit or miss, is their tight ends.
right.
Yet you let Dallas Goedert go off for a career year.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
And then offensively, their defense, I think, is one of those that's loaded with talent that they just have not clicked all season long. But the offense, to me, like, you have one of the best, if not the most talented offensive line out there. I would say the Colts are probably higher than them, but still, this is a top 5 offensive line.
And you've got an amazing back in Zeke, and I don't see the Kellen Moore. Like, he doesn't understand. He's in over his head. He doesn't value the run enough.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to play to the strength of his roster enough. Thinks Dak is better than what he is. You know, I think he's good. He's a very good quarterback. Ease pressure on him, though. And the Chris Richard thing, I know people are talking about him as a coaching candidate, but his defense has underperformed by their talent level throughout the year. I think that they're just, if these were the same pieces on the, I don't know, even the Carolina Panthers, nobody would be thinking that this team was nearly as good as it was, just because of the star and because of the Jerry Jones hype machine.
A couple of points here. By the way, you called this. I remember talking in September, or late September, and I was like, man, I kind of like the Cowboys. And you're like, nah, man, there's no way these guys do anything. I was like, Mike, you're crazy, but whatever. Again, you were right.
Thank you.
But it's did you see that whole thing with the rotation of, like, you know, the guys had a lot of plays in the 2-minute drill, Amari Cooper, Randall Cobb, Zeke, and that's why they weren't on the field. I don't buy that, man, because if your season's on the line and guys are a little tired, let me put it like this. You think Michael Jordan was taking place off because of the rotation, or he had too many minutes back in the 90s when the Bulls were smashing teams?
No.
Hell no, man. To me, that's just like, it's just situational awareness and coaching. And I agree with Kellen Moore. I think, like, he started hot because he was an unfamiliar face. I think teams didn't necessarily know how to, what to do to neutralize him. But the Cowboys, man, it's just that offense. You have all those pieces. Like, how? And I had this conversation with a few Cowboys fans that we have on a couple of colleagues.
Yeah.
Take this Cowboys team, put Sean Payton with a headset.
Oh my goodness.
Put Kyle Shanahan with a headset. Put Sean McVay with a headset.
Right.
Put Bill Belichick with a headset. I feel like this team would be a force. I feel like they would be a lock as a contender for the NFC,
Oh, for sure. Because that's the thing that, okay, Kyle Shanahan, excuse me, has really elevated Jimmy Garoppolo's game. He's playing above, I think, where he is right now for a guy
100%.
last year with a knee injury and all that stuff. Sean McVay definitely out schemes and elevates Jared Goff's thing. Jared Goff can't get out of his own way sometimes, but you have that coach who can take your game to another level, who can scheme guys open and everything.
Just help you out. You out. Know what your strengths are. Like, it's like the Cowboys had the thing where it's like, okay, like Tony Pollard got a couple good runs. Let's take him out. Like, what are you doing? And I know Tony Pollard fumbled the ball in a crucial moment, but it's just like things like that where, they don't ride the hot hand. It blows my mind. I just don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that it's just inexperience and just, and just not having that special football IQ that Sean Payton and Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan, the great minds have. Jason Garrett has already shown us he doesn't have it. Kellen Moore, maybe you got some creativity, but there's a lot of stuff. I'm not saying he's never going to be a very good coach. He does some creative stuff, but it's just they are not ready for prime time because talent only gets you so far in this game. You have to have. I mean, there are no coaches who won a Super Bowl by accident.
Yeah. I want to ask you something. So the Cowboys are going to be hiring a coach pretty soon. I think that's pretty clear. This is the number one job that's going to be open, right? Would you agree with that?
I would think so. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. With that said, do you trust two-part question? One, do you trust the Joneses to get this right? And number two, do you think a lot of coaches are tentative of working with the Joneses because of the way they run that team?
I think if you are a coach with real cred, and you know who you are,
mm-hmm.
you are not worried because, say you're Urban Meyer,
right?
He's already flirted, throwing it out there.
Yep.
I think you just take the Bill Belichick page and be like, look, I don't need this job. If you want me to come in here, you let me do my thing, and you let me do it my way. So I think Jerry Jones knows that he is getting up there. I know he knows time is running out. And so I think he would be desperate enough to be like, okay, I am going to take a back seat here and let you. Now, my only thing with Urban Meyer is I know he knows how to build a winning program in college where you can recruit.
Yeah.
It's different. You better make sure that you bring somebody with you, And look, the Cowboys have very good talent evaluators because, look at their roster. But Urban Meyer just can't make the mistake of thinking, I'm going to call all the shots. You worry about the X and O's, instilling the culture and everything like that. But Jerry Jones, just stay a little bit out of the spotlight, and I think that can work. I don't think that they should, get some type of young hot shot of a guy.
I agree. See,
strong presence.
I think you're the Dallas Cowboys. You are literally the most sports franchise in the world. I think this is one where you call the shot. Like, if I'm the Cowboys and I'm sitting there, okay, who do we want as our next coach? I'm saying we're going for the very best of the very best. And I'm not saying Lincoln Riley. I like Lincoln. He's a young, promising coach, all that. I'm going after Kyle Shanahan. Like,
You're going to go trade for Kyle Shanahan?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Because, and I'm not saying this happens, but, You're the Dallas Cowboys, man.
If there's no way in the world San Francisco is gonna like.
I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying those are the kinds of guys I'm going for.
Why not then go after Sean Payton? See, I think that's the move right there.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? I'm with you. But so Sean Payton, I feel like we have to qualify which Sean we're talking about, because there's a lot of good coaching Seans, but they were kind of flirting. And I know Payton denied this. I've talked to people who indicate pretty strongly that the Cowboys made it clear that they would be interested in having Sean coach them. Yet Sean turned it into a leverage play, and he got a better contract.
Right.
That tells me that he's in a good spot. And I don't know if the Jones factor plays in there, because what's that?
Or is it that he's like, I'm going to play it as a leverage play because I know I've got this many years with Drew Brees, and then
maybe
boom, they get this one here, and then after that it's like, okay, I rode Drew Brees for as long as I could. Teddy Bridgewater, Dak Prescott. Okay, I'm going to move over to Dallas now.
Yeah, but I think the difference is in New Orleans, he has a lot more control than he would in Dallas. And some coaches, they just like to have things run their way. And that's why I asked you that question about the Joneses, because I feel like there are a lot of coaches out there who look at that situation and are thinking, yeah, it's a nice situation. It's a marquee franchise. And if you win as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, you're a legend,
right?
Instant legend. But I just wonder, man, because that Jones family dynamic and the way they operate, and the way, I mean, the team owner is a must-watch press conference after games.
Every game.
Every game.
He talks before the head coach or the quarterback does.
Every game.
And that's why Kyle Shanahan will have no parts of that.
Right.
He dealt with the crazy owner in Washington. He's got a great situation there where –
why would he?
So if they're going to go after any coach that's got a job right now, I think it would be Sean Payton. Otherwise, it's Urban Meyer, maybe Lincoln Riley.
But you do see my point, though, when I'm saying, like, you're the Cowboys. You need to go to the top, right?
Oh yeah. Because you've had, you've been dating the six for, how long now? Now you need that trophy. And
I think you said it best. I think Jerry knows that his time is ticking, and not to be like morbid here. It's just, you only have so many years left, and like it's almost like the Cowboys also, they kind of blew this, man. You have your franchise quarterback, whether he's a star or not. You had him on a rookie 4th round deal. Mm-hmm. Look at how many teams have turned that formula and they've turned it into Super Bowls. Right. And the Cowboys did put pieces around him, but they were not able to actually see it to fruition.
But this is Jerry's fault, because everybody knew what Jason Garrett was.
Yeah.
You knew that you needed to make that move this year, not next year. You need to make that coaching change this year and elevate it and capitalize. And he didn't do it because he wanted to have a guy he could control when he kept giving him chances. So there's nobody to blame but Jerry in this.
I can't remember a team, a talented team even, with this kind of like weird lame duck situation where you're going with a coach into his final year of his contract. Like it's just bizarre. And if you're a player in the locker room, this, like, you're not stupid. That's the thing I don't think we're talking enough about, is that the way the Joneses have handled this season, the players know what's going on.
Yeah.
And they can say, like, oh, we're fighting for Jason. Like, we know all that. But
ain't nobody in the world thinks that Jason Garrett's going to be the head coach next year.
Oh, hell no.
Everybody knows it.
Jason Garrett knows Jason Garrett's not going to be the coach next year.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, Zoe, this has been fun. We got to wrap here. But I feel like we could do this like 3 times.
I know, man. And we didn't even hit on the Browns.
I know, right?
That's another one, I think.
Well, we'll touch on that Black Monday.
Yeah. Damn, man.
we'll do our post Black Monday episode as well.
Sounds good, brother. As always,
All right.
I appreciate
Tell
it.
everybody where they can find you again, usatoday.com, and on Twitter at
Lorenzo Reyes, and I'm still not telling you.
You need to tweet more, dude.
Yeah, man. I like to keep a low profile. The Twitter's, it's interesting out there.
I know.
It's also like people say like, oh, we can have debates, but like it's just there's not a room for nuance. And
nah, you're right.
I just feel like sometimes I get it's not good for my blood pressure. Let me put it like that. Like it works me up, man.
Well, still just tweet out the links to your stories and then
for sure.
Notifications or whatever.
For sure.
Yeah. All right, man. Thanks a lot. Hope you have a good one, and a happy New Year, dude.
Thanks, man. You too. Wishing you guys all the best.
Thanks.
All right, and that's this week's episode. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Again, read me at usatoday.com. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @ByMikeJones. Go download, subscribe, share with your friends on social media. Let's get this listenership up as we steadily climb entering 2020, and we'll see what week 17 holds for the regular season finale, and I'll come back to you on Monday morning for another episode of Football Jones Podcast. Thanks. Hope you have a great day.